Back, everyone, on this Sunday evening. We're tracking Tropical Storm Henri as it makes its way through the Northeast. You can see there, this is Coney Island in New York, not Six Flags. That's the Atlantic right there, and it's showing some spots of blue sky. Also, though, areas of heavy clouds, and throughout the day, they certainly got their share of stormy weather. For the latest on what we're expecting here in Western Mass, let's check in with meteorologist Don Maher. Don.
Thanks, Chris. Yeah, so far for us, Henri has kind of been an underperformer. We have seen some rain, but we really haven't seen much in the way of those strong winds. We did see winds gusting up near 40 miles per hour earlier this afternoon. But right now, as we take a look at the Doppler radar, you can see the bulk of the heavier rain, that has moved on off to our west into parts of New York State. Now, we're still going to see some spotty rainfall as we continue to move through the evening hours and into the overnight. And then as we head on into tomorrow, I think we are going to see some heavier showers move through as Henri begins to make his way back to the east and eventually head on out to sea. But right now, latest advisory, it continues to weaken. 40 mile per hour sustained wind, movement to the west-northwest at 7 miles per hour. Going to continue on that track and then turn back to the east, which is why I think we get back into some of that heavier rain as we head on into the day tomorrow. And then eventually, Henri heading on out to sea, and then at that point, just a distant memory for many of us. But on our sky cam, as you can see at this hour, we still are dealing with some rain shower activity out there. Temperatures right now are in the lower 70s. Now, the wind gusts, as I mentioned, they really haven't been all that strong as the day has gone on. We did earlier see those winds gusting up near 40 miles per hour at times. But right now, as you can see, the wind gusts basically around 20, 25 miles per hour. The winds coming out of the northeast and throughout much of southern New England. In fact, we're really not seeing those strong wind gusts. In fact, wind gusts right now still anywhere between 15 and 25 miles per hour. Now, as Henri continues to weaken, we will see these wind gusts to continue to come down as we move through the evening and into the overnight hours. So tomorrow, I think what we're mainly looking at is we're looking at the potential for some heavier rainfall as those rain bands begin to move back on off to the east, and then Henri will begin to move out and conditions will start to improve as we head on into Tuesday. But for more on Henri and what we've been looking at so far and going forward, let me send it over to Jana Brown. So Jana, for us, it hasn't been much of a wind maker, but it was different as it made landfall.
Definitely. Don, I mean, the good news was that this storm weakened to a tropical storm before it even made landfall. So even the peak wind gusts right along the coast were not as intense as what we were originally kind of fearing. Point Judith, Rhode Island, coming in with the strongest gust, only at 70 miles an hour. So there's definitely damage on the Rhode Island coast all the way to Newport, 68 mile an hour gust, Woods Hole, Mass out in eastern Mass around 55. And here at Westover, we had a gust up to about 45 miles an hour this afternoon. So the wind has not been nearly as intense as what we were fearing, which is good news. So maybe you did a lot of prep for nothing, but better safe than sorry is kind of like our motto here in the weather department. As far as the rain goes, like Don just mentioned, this is when it made landfall. I have this on a 12-hour loop. You can see how the heaviest rain kind of hit the Hartford area. We saw that big batch of rain come across western Mass, and now it's in upstate New York. New York City still has flash flood warnings that they have been dealing with pretty much consistent rain all day. Now, we do have a flood watch that's up for all of western Mass, and if you recall, from the last couple of days, it's the only watch we've had. It was never a hurricane watch for us, never a tropical storm watch, only a flood watch for western Mass. And that continues through 8 p.m. Monday night. We do have a flood warning up for some general minor flooding in the hill towns, but there's a renewed threat for flash flooding tomorrow. Like Don said, the storm is actually going to come back across western Mass with rounds of rainfall. So it's important to just remember your flood safety tips. The biggest thing that we see with hurricanes a lot of times is inland flooding, especially with a tropical storm. So flooding can still be an issue throughout tomorrow. It only takes a foot of water to float vehicles. We saw that with remnants of Fred just Thursday morning. It wasn't much that came through, but when it fell heavy and it caused quick flash flooding, and there had to be water rescues. There's the chance for that tomorrow. So just remember, turn around, don't drown. Do not try to drive through flooded roadways. Can't say that one enough. Now, as far as the wind and what we're going to be dealing with after this storm passes, we're going to head back to meteorologist Don Maher for the full forecast.
Thanks, Jana. Yeah, and we've been talking about it. Even though the steadier rain has moved on out for now, that's going to change as we head on into tomorrow as Henri makes a turn back to the east. So we're still going to deal with some showers as we move through the evening and into the overnight. But then here we go as we head on into Monday. Here comes that heavier rain moving back into parts of western Mass. Could be some embedded rumbles of thunder as well. And some of these downpours, of course, could be on the heavier side as the storm continues to track on off to the east, kind of similar to what we saw with Fred just a couple of days ago. So that will continue to move on off to the east as we head through the day tomorrow. And then by Tuesday, I think we are going to start to see conditions improve. So the winds right now, strongest through about 8 p.m. But as you saw, the winds really have not been much of a factor. Heavier rain tapering to showers tonight before the rain picks back up tomorrow. So that flood threat is going to continue into Monday. And something else to consider, even though the rain begins to wind on down later tomorrow, we're still going to have to watch for rises along the rivers and streams due to all the runoff from the rainfall that we are receiving. But once the system departs, we do begin to dry things out, but we really don't cool down. In fact, could we be talking about yet another heat wave? Well, certainly going to be possible as we head through the mid and latter part of next week before a front comes through with some showers and storms on Friday, and that may break the heat and humidity heading towards next weekend. That's Check Your Forecast. Have a great evening. Chris, Paris, over to you.